Yes, hello folks, welcome back guys. I am hoping uko salama. And today at Nyayo Stadium kumekuwa na celebration of Raila Odinga's life. You see, there are leaders wenye wakituacha, we have to mourn, but pia we have to celebrate their life for what they have done to us and the changes they have made in this wonderful country. And the Raila family had the most powerful speeches nimesikia. Waliongea kwa uchungu and they expressed their deepest the deepest sadness. They have just showed the country indeed who Raila was and the virtues he was actually believing in. For example, let me start with Raila Jr. Skiza.
Sawa. Aya. Okay. Tulia, wacha nisome. A tribute from Raila Jr. Odinga. My beloved mom, my sister Rosie and Winnie, my extended family, excellencies, distinguished guests, my fellow Kenyans, since I learned of my dad's demise, I have organized over how to best mourn him. My father was many things to me, to many people, but to my siblings and I, he was simply Dad. Dad embodied resilience, courage, and unwavering commitment to the ideals of freedom and justice. He always stood for what he believed was right, sometimes at great family cost and personal cost as well. He was my hero. And his legacy lives in me, in my siblings, and in all those whose lives he touched. I am my father's son. And that is why I will continue to fight for values he believed in: justice, fairness, and service to others. I am very alive to the fact that my brother Fidel is gone. I remain the gentleman of the family. Dad, I want you to assure you that I will take care of our family, Mom, Rosie, Winnie, and your larger political family too.
Yes, this is the most powerful and painful speech a son can give kwa, matanga mama funeral ya babake. And Junior's, statement is coming out clear that he is going to take care of his family. And what I'm seeing there is Raila Jr. is going to take uongozi country. Yes, because he's saying that he's going to make sure that the spirit of his father lives on, na takisha kwamba babake Kenya kana believe in democracy na kila kitu, atapigania democracy so that his father can be happy wherever he is. No. So Raila's spirit is going to live in Raila Jr. That's what I have gotten from the address. And of course, to continue with Raila's, youngest daughter, who seemed actually to be his favorite, Winnie Odinga, who was within, even in India, even at his lowest moment, even when Raila was, in hospital, actually, akipumua his last breath, Winnie Odinga was holding his hand. And Winnie said this.
I was with him in India when he took his last breath. He died in my arms. But he did not die like people have been saying on social media. Every day he was waking up and walking. And every day he would do 1 round. The next day he would push 2 rounds. That morning he pushed to 5 rounds. He died strong, with dignity and with pride. and you must be proud of that. You all must also walk with your heads held high and walk strong and proud that he left as a gentleman. As a family, we want to thank all of you from Turkana.
Yes, it is. She even shared how Raila Odinga died, because you see, kwa mtandao, people thought that Raila alikufa because he was walking, and people said that maybe kama angetembea labda angeuawa, lakini Winnie is saying clearly that Raila died. He used to walk every day, but he could increase his steps. Kama leo anatembea steps 100, kesho anatembea steps 150. But at that sad day, at that particular day, Raila alitembea steps nyingi sana. And I think moyo kachoka, collapse. That's how it is. And Winnie Odinga is vowing to continue with the spirit of our father. Yeah? And these speeches, even when Ruto akizisikiza, alikuwa na kweli, Raila still lives in his children. And Rosemary Odinga had this to say, sikia.
Kwa sababu hata baba alikuwa baba wetu, alikuwa baba zetu sote. Naomba niseme machache kwa Kiingereza tafadhali. Ladies and gentlemen, of course all protocols observed. I'm a bit today I'm feeling very, very sad. I did not anticipate to speak today, and there's so much I can say about Baba, but at the same time, we don't have enough time for me to say it all. To me, he was my advisor. He was a friend. He was also someone who understood me very well, and my children and my siblings. I remember the day I received the message. I was seated on the table, just finished my breakfast, and then my brother Junior called me, and he asked me where I was, and I told him, nimekaa kwa meza, I'm seated at the table. And then he asked me to sit down. And I asked myself, now do I sit on the floor, or sitting on the table, or the seat at the table is good enough? I was so confused. But then Junior then told me that our father was no longer with us. Until today, it is still very difficult.
Yes, this is Raila's eldest daughter. Like Rosemary is the second born after Fidel. And Rosemary she's just saying that babake alikufa, aliambiwa kama anakunywa chai, and did not know what to do. And of course, one thing I've seen from the speech of Rosemary, I've realized that the lady is still in pain. As you see some things can happen to you, uko na shock, ushindwe paka kulia, because you're like, how will life be without this man? How will life be without my father? Those are the questions I think Rosemary ajiuliza. Now, let's go now to the main story now. Raila's wife, Ida Odinga, had the most bombastic speech in Skia.
But I'll appeal to those who are still having babies, give your child a meaningful name. Because you name them people you never saw, you never heard of, simply because it saw the name written somewhere. There's nothing wrong with giving our children the names of the people who in our lives we think are the heroes. Our life was not smooth life. Just like any other family, There's been ups and downs. But as we continue living together, we've learned how to cope because we all have weaknesses and strengths. We learned to talk straight to one another. We learned to speak the truth, and we learned to forgive and move on. Now, that forgiving spirit was not only in the home, but is something that he has spread to the Kenyan. You've seen how many times he has tried in the elections, but that forgiveness is paramount. So please don't carry grudges from one generation to another and from one group to another. We are all Kenyans. We are all Kenyans. We are sisters and brothers. We must learn to forgive easily and build together Kenya. Towards the end, I'll not say everything. I would like to say everything, but time would not allow. And a span of 52 years is not a short time. I hope that when I get another opportunity on Sunday, I'll be able to say more. But one thing that he kept on repeating to me is that we must urge Kenyans to live in peace. He kept on repeating that. We must repeat it to our Kenyans. We live in peace. Raila hated dishonesty. He hated dishonesty. He hated greed. The greed that have affected the main fabric of our society. The greed that leads to stealing from the public coffers. The greed that leads to corruptions. That's the kind of thing that Raila would not have liked to see.
Yes, that's why he was actually narrating their meeting and how they got kids. It actually how they named their kids. But one thing I saw or I noticed from her speech is like she really attacked the government officials. Some of you will not understand me, but let me tell you one thing. Raila, she insisted that Raila hated corruption and looting of public properties. Of course, when in the speech, the only person who Raila was attacking kila siku ni Ruto kwa kuiba mali ya serikali. Just take a time and go back to Raila boarding of state politics. He used to attack William Ruto for actually, forcefully taking pesa wa Kenya. That's how it is. So whether it was right or it was wrong, I don't know. Again, that's what he used to do. And this was somehow an attack to William Ruto. And of course, I've been asking myself questions like, why? Okay. I'm not saying that the family is actually having an issue with Ruto, but there's been rumors huko nje kwamba for example, I even saw a post somewhere saying that Gachagua saying that when Raila was in the Uhuru Kenyatta, tulopatia Raila ikuwa sawa, but when Raila was with Ruto, amerudishwa ikuwa mai. I saw some post there, but of course, I can't say that post has something to do with Raila Odinga's death. But the thing is, you see, when someone dies, a powerful person dies, there are always speculations. Yeah, and people are like, what has happened? As in, this mzee was very strong. Why is he dead after he has this broad-based government? What's happening? And of course, people are even coming up with questions from how Ogola died, Chope Kamangusha, and people have been saying that, Ogola's death could be an assassination. Those are the things people have been saying outside there. And I think you know them. Huh? And of course, people have been linking, like, for example, Ongondovere died, Ongondovere is a Luo, and Ongondovere was an MP in Kaspruka Bondo. And people are saying that, why did that this year, powerful Luo, people have just vanished from Akufa. And now the death of Raila Odinga has now shut it down, has become very catastrophic to a point whereby people are broken and people are really crying at the moment. So you see now, these are the questions Kenyans have been asking the family of Raila Odinga. And from the speeches, people are still some people, actually the diehards of Raila Odinga, can't accept that Raila Odinga's death was actually out of, the heart failure. Yeah, heart attack. Heart attack is a condition, and you see, in the Parantuote, yeah, not only the old, even the young people, they can die of heart attack. No. So it's a known disease that is actually catastrophic. Now, wanga ikikushika imekushika. No. And the bad thing about heart attack, ama hiyo cardiac arrest, wanga ni kwamba you don't know the day. Yeah, that's what you see. Sometimes you see mtu alikaa chini hivi, then mtu akakufa. Okay? Because you don't know. Then you ask yourself, what happened to this guy? He was just okay. Then why did he have to vanish? I mean, die this way? So heart attack is a condition that you never know when it will happen. And Raila Odinga was very sure that he was going to come back to Kenya because alitibiwa, akafanywa surgery, akako sawa. And he was just waiting for the days zake za hospitali ziishe. Arudi, he was even making phone calls to Oburu Odinga, to his family, telling them that I'm okay. I'll be flying back to Kenya maybe next week, about this weekend. But it was, it was God's plan that he was not going to come back in a casket. So Raila akamka asubuhi tu akatembea, then boom, he died. Okay? Of course, some people have said that, what if kama angetembea? Of course, kama angetembea, I believe, probably, niko naye hapa hivi. Yes. Because attack ni mshtuko wa roho. Okay? Maybe roho ilishtuka after Raila ametembea sana. So kama angetembea, probably tulikuwa naye hapa hivi. But still, kama tulikuwa naye hapa hivi, still hiyo condition alikuwa nayo, bado ingemsumbua. Ama probably angecontrol. I don't know about that because I can't tell. But that was the powerful speech nimesikia leo kwa familia ya Raila Odinga, and to me it has really touched me to the core. Thank you. If you love politics, then Dr. Politica is your cup of tea, the place for minds that think. If you are watching this from anywhere else, search the name, hit subscribe, and stay sharp with us. Thank you for making Dr. Politica your home for fearless political truth. Every view, every like, every share fuels the fire behind the hours of research, filming, and editing we pour into each episode. By showing up consistently, you don't just support a channel, you empower a voice. In a world ruled by headlines, spin, and power games, you remind us that real people still care about real facts. We are here to inform, inspire, and ignite critical thinking, not just for today, but for generations to come. You are not just a viewer, you are the reason this platform exists.